Well, it's encouraging what we've done so far, isn't it? But I think we all know, we can all see where the gaps are to get that strength in depth. This is what we need, these types of players. I think the club have started to address the physical side of it and the height, which is, we've made a good start, but we still haven't got enough of that. And as we've mentioned all through this video, in those various positions, that's what we'd like to see introduced.
Welcome back to Small Heath Alliance FC, and this pre-season is shaping up to be a really exciting time as a Birmingham City supporter. We seem to be signing people on a daily basis. In fact, me and Dad are in some ways struggling to keep up with the video content, and last week we broke the League One transfer record twice in a matter of 24 hours. However, with all the excitement, me and Dad still feel we need to add a little bit of squad depth, we need some certain characteristics, and there's certain positions that we're a little bit light on. So Dad, you've been seeing the transfers coming in, but as we've discussed, we need certain areas to improve on. What are your initial thoughts on areas that we need to go for?
I think before I talk about that, I think it's worth clarifying that the point of recording this video, we've made 7 signings. The signing that we've had last is Christophe Clara. So when this video goes out, it could be that we've had a few more.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be greedy, Matt. I know that we've had 7 signings. I've identified 7 further ones that I think we need.
Okay.
Now, what I thought was a good idea, if we go through the various parts of the team and see what thoughts are. So I'll start off with goalkeepers. Now, we know that we brought in Ryan Allsop and Bailey Peacock-Farrell. Now, I think that if Bradley Mayo is not the third choice goalkeeper, i.e. goes out on loan, I think he's getting to that stage of his career now where he needs more first-team football. And I'm not talking about in the under-23s. I'm talking about proper league football. So Birmingham City might decide, well, maybe let's send him out on loan. If that is the case, I think we need another goalkeeper. So it all depends on what Birmingham City do and what their plans are for Bradley Mayo, because he's a great third choice goalkeeper. He's always there in the the under 23s, is it, or under 21s, whatever the development team is. So if Bradley is going to go out on loan, then I believe we need another goalkeeper. I don't know what your thoughts on goalkeepers.
Yeah, I mean, as a third goalkeeper, even with squad rotation and cup games, it's still quite slim that you're going to get massive amounts of game experience, isn't it? I like Bradley Mayo. I think he's shaping up to be a really good goalkeeper. So I'd like for him to hang around and be the third goalkeeper. Selfishly, if he wants to develop his career, I totally understand why he would want to get out and get some first-team football. But yeah, I agree. And also as well, just on the goalkeepers, I've been so impressed with Peacock-Farrell and Allsop in pre-season. The way they play with the ball at their feet and their distribution.
But to be fair, that's why they were bought in, Matt.
100%. But to see it come into action has been impressive. So I think we've got 2 great goalkeepers on our hands. I agree about the third, and it'd be interesting to see what they do with Bradley Mayo.
I think as well, because we brought in 2 goalkeepers, I think it's easy for most Blues fans to think, well, that position's sorted now. But then you think about it, imagine that you've got Ryan Allsop or Bailey Peacock-Farrell as first choice in either game. If one of them get injured or suspended, are you going to put on the bench?
Definitely.
So it's going to have to be Bradley Mayo, but if he's out on loan, so I still think we need another goalkeeper.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Okay. What about defence? You can start with that, Matt. So what do you think we need in terms of defence? What are the gaps?
Okay, so defensively, I'll start on the left-hand side, and I think we've got really good strength now. We've brought Cochrane in, we've got Buchanan in. Depending on what formation Chris Davies wants to play, I'd like to see them both feature as the season goes on, because they both have different qualities. Cochrane's very good with the ball at his feet. He's progressive. He likes to get forward. Whereas Buchanan, you cannot beat those beastie challenges. He likes to put in, good tackler, very strong. And then we've moved into the centre-half position. Obviously, we've just signed Clara. We've got Bielek, Dion Sanderson. I would really love to see a left-footed centre-half come through the door. We've mentioned this on previous videos, Dad, and I said about the stability a left-footer centre-half gives you in that left side of the pitch, and I think we're crying out for that. And don't get me wrong, we've got some cracking centre-halves there. I mean, we broke the League One transfer record with Clara, so there's no doubt we've got quality there, but I'd like to see a left footer come in there. And right back, or right wing back, depending on formation, we've got Ethan Laird. Don't get me wrong, I like Ethan Laird. He's shaping up like he's having a really good pre-season. We need more depth on the right side as well. So I would love to see a right wing back come in. Someone progressive, someone quick, confident on the ball. Because if you look at the big teams from last year in the Championship, Ipswich, you look at their fullbacks, they're contributing. They're getting quite a few assists.
Leif Davis was amazing.
Exactly, they're getting up the pitch.
He scored very few goals, but he had a massive amount of assists.
So in a high-quality team, the fullbacks contribute a lot.
I think we've got that on the left in Alex Cochrane, I think.
Yeah, so I would like to see another right back come in for competition with Ethan Laird, back up. rotation, all those different things. So for me, at the back, left-footed centre-half and a right back or right wing-back.
Well, it's interesting, Lee. Before we did this video, we haven't just talked about what we think we need. I just said to Matt, tell me what you think we need, and I've written it down. So we've had no conversation. I've got exactly the same. Exactly the same. I think that we're crying out for a left-sided centre-half. Somebody tall as well. Not just a centre-half, but somebody tall. Mike Erdenhuizen, or Dutch Mike as he was called, we know that we went in for him a few weeks ago, and that deal didn't materialise. But the rumours are that that's not completely dead. And again, I'm not 100% sure. Speculation that there was some issue with his medical or something like that.
I heard the same.
So Blues may try and resurrect that. I don't know, but he's a very tall left-sided centre half. So he's in that mould. If we don't get him. No, because at the end of the day, Matt, I don't want us buying players that are going to be injured. It's pointless.
No, exactly.
It's absolutely pointless. So if there is a problem with his medical...
Surely we've learned that from last season.
Yeah. So, but if they feel it's a minor problem that they can manage, then it's worth a punt, then fair enough. But he's the type of player that we will probably need, somebody of that height with a left foot in centre, as part of a centre-half duo. And I also agree as well about right back as well. I think that's really, really important. I don't think Ethan Lair's got any competition at the moment.
Yeah. And coming back to the left centre half, again, 6'2", 6'3" would be a plus bonus as well. I like tall, physical centre halves. I like them to have that commanding presence. League One, lots of long balls in the box. We need height.
Yeah, we do need that height, to go alongside Clara as well, or whoever's picked as well. And that brings us. Oh, sorry, have you got more?
No, I was just going to say, to stop it being you to me, I'll bounce it to you, Dad.
Okay.
So coming into the midfield, then who are you? Where, are you thinking we need to strengthen up?
This is, out of all the areas of the pitch, this is the most difficult to predict because there's potential for certain midfielders to either be sold or move on. So it depends on what happens with them. We know that Bakuna's going to go. I think Chris Davies almost confirmed that definitely. So whatever's holding that up, at some point that'll materialise. So Bakuna will go. JJ is very highly speculated to go as well. And then we've got, Armiyoshi and Paik are going to hang around. So what we need in midfield will be very much dependent on how and who stays, really. But in my opinion, I think we need, because I think some of them will go. We know that Bakuna's going to go, so it's likely that one of the other three is likely to go as well. So I think we need two midfielders. We need physical strength in that midfield, I believe. So we need a physical, strong midfield. Obviously, we've got Williamson, who is an attacking midfielder. We've got height and physicality with him, but it's more of a midfielder in the centre that is physical, but also isn't just attack minded. That can actually
more of a centre defensive mid.
Yes, But I'm reluctant to say the word defensive, but I think we need it because I think every player we've had so far has been attack. But we are going to be under pressure at certain times of certain games. So we do need, in my opinion, we need a physical defensive central midfielder, and I also believe we need a right winger as well. Now we've got Miyoshi, who plays out on the right hand side because Bakuna's going to go. So I think we need another right winger, maybe somebody a little bit more physical than Miyoshi. Now, don't get me wrong, I like Miyoshi. He's a good player, and I think if he stays, he'll play a lot of games. But we need that physical strength as well on that right hand side. Do you know we're in those games where teams are parking the bus and they're trying to bully us and push us around. Just somebody, and by the way, not Oliver Burke. We need somebody who actually is going to have an output, physical strength. So that's what I think we need, Matt, in the midfield. I think we need a big, physical, strong defensive midfielder and a physical, strong right winger.
Yeah, and again, pending what you said about people coming in, people going out. We know certain players might be more vulnerable than others. I actually think we're going to keep a lot more players than we might think. I think Chris Davies is really working his magic behind the scenes. I think they're seeing the vision. They're seeing what he's trying to do. And I think the players are quite enjoying this fast press, intense style of football. Fair enough. I know they've only been pre-season friendlies, but it seems like the players are really enjoying themselves.
We've looked good, in various phases of games. We've looked really good. So I think you're right. Yeah.
But for me, I think we need two centre mids. And one of them is I'll call it call it as it is in terms of the centre defensive mid. And you've mentioned this before, Dad. And we're not talking about comparisons here, but we're saying a character based player like Roy Keane, Vinnie Jones, Gattuso, someone nasty, someone who gets in your face, someone who gets stuck in, someone who isn't scared to shout at the ref, get amongst it, put those big challenges in. And then also I think we need a bit more of an intelligent centre mid, a bit more of a box-to-box centre mid. And you've mentioned your admiration for Harry Winks. I've mentioned my admiration for Ben Sheaf.
Yeah.
And I think someone who perfectly fits the mould for Birmingham City, and we have been linked with him, is someone like Mark Leonard. Someone who is just as good in possession as they are out of possession, and they can get you on that from defence to attack really quickly and vice versa.
Oh, that's a saga, that is. I mean, that's been going on longer than Coronation Street's been on air. I mean, it seems to have just dragged on.
Let's take Mark Leonard out of the picture for a minute, though. Someone like him. His characteristics, the way he plays the game.
But by the way, that's not completely dead. By the way,
it's not.
He's obviously talking to a lot of clubs.
Mark Leonard would be one of the perfect centre mids for me. He's so good in possession. He's so good out of possession. He links everything together. I think he's the League One kind of Harry Winks. I really do. And someone like that. Someone who's nasty. And someone who can link all the play together.
Yeah, I'd like to see him come to us. But as I say, it's one of them ones that you see sort of banded around in terms of, he's going to come to us, or his favourite to come to us. Then he's talking to other clubs. Then it all goes quiet. And then you think, well, obviously that seems to have gone. But he still hasn't signed for anybody yet, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
So
and we have spoke to him, so it could still be on the cards. But So, and I take your point, Dad, really valid. I didn't really think about the right wing, to be honest, because I thought we did have a little bit more depth. Quite a few of the players are quite versatile in our attacking mid. I know Dembele can move across. Williamson can play on the right, Keshi Anderson as well. So we have got attacking-minded players, but actually now you've said it, specifically right wingers. I think you're right. I think we possibly could do with another position there. Yeah. So interesting. Again, we're on similar pages there.
Yeah. Okay. So then that comes to our front line, then, Matt. So what's your thoughts on what we still need on the front line?
So the forward line is a position I think we've struggled on for years, not just in terms of quality as a first starter, but any depth. We have got Alfie May now. Obviously, we've got Yuki, but we know Yuki's not going to be playing many minutes. Although he's having a cracking pre-season, 2 goals in as many games. So it's always good to see Yuki get on the score sheet. I think Yuki's your 70-minute plus, you're struggling to break down teams, possibly wanting to get the ball in the box kind of player, isn't he? And then your Alfie May is a bit more of an all-rounder. However, I think we need 2 more strikers to come through the door. I think Chris Davis might have his eye on a loan, maybe to fill that gap for one of them. Yeah. I would love to see one of them coming on a permanent, so we've got 2 full contracted players. Yeah. But for me, I think we need two more strikers to come through the door. And if we do, that'll give me a bit more confidence about rotation, about depth, and about the players up front having that challenge and raising their games against each other. So for me, keeping it short, 2 strikers up top, I think we need to come to the door.
And I agree with that as well. Yeah. I think you're right. I mean, at the moment, we've got Alfie May. You haven't mentioned Tyler Roberts as well.
Sorry, Tyler Roberts.
And obviously Yuki. And there are players that can potentially play. It depends on what sort of formation Chris Davis decides to play. That could be almost like a false 9, just behind the striker as well. Like the likes of Romel Donovan potentially to play not as an out-and-out striker, but just behind the striker. But I think we need 2 as well. I'd like to see. I've mentioned throughout this video in the positions that I think we need, that this physicality. I still think we need it. We've started to get it, but we still need more of it. I think it'd be nice to have a big, strong centre forward, a little bit like Yuki, but a little bit taller, physical. If you ping the ball to Yuki, he's going to win it. You give the ball to him in the box, he's probably going to score. But somebody physical.
We give this reference all the time because he's a classic example of a young Kiefer Moore. He's that physical presence. And I'm not saying we should go get Kiefer Moore. I'm just getting.
He's gone to Sheffield United.
Yeah, I'm just making an example of a tall, physical player who I think you're describing.
I do. I think we need that as well, and we also need a second nippy
running the back,
a little bit like Jay Stansfield, who we all know about. I'd love to see him back at the Blues, but you never know what's going to happen or when that will happen. But I think at some point in the future that will happen.
I'd love to see Jay Stansfield.
Yeah, so that's what I think we need. I think we need 2 strikers just like you. So for me, we've made 7 signings so far. I've added all the ones. I think we need 7 more. That's all the ones that I've just spoken about, and you pretty much agree with the same ones.
I completely agree. I mean, the only thing that caught me off guard was the right wing there, but now we spoke it through. I think you're right. We could do with some more depth. Also, Romel Donovan can float out on the right wing as well. Just FYI, I forgot about Romel Donovan.
Yeah.
But, and I think we'll see him break into the first team more this season.
Yeah.
And also at the back end of, I think it was the last game against Shrewsbury at the time of recording, Chris Davis said that actually we're only just getting started in the transfer market and we're going to see a lot more come through the door. So
it's encouraging what we've done so far, isn't it? But I think we all know, we can all see where the gaps are to get that strength in depth. this is what we need, these types of players. I think the club have started to address the physical side of it and the height, which is, we've made a good start, but we still haven't got enough of that. And as we've mentioned all through this video, in those various positions, that's what we'd like to see introduced. So the club are obviously aware of it. It's exciting, isn't it?
It's so exciting.
It's exciting to see who is likely to join us. And made a great start. But that's what I think we need.
So, as always, Blues fans, we'd love to hear from you. Please let us know your thoughts. Do you agree with our opinion? Do you think those gaps that we've sort of spoke about need filling? Have you got any of your own ideas? Do you think that we've missed some positions that you think we could add some depth to and some value to? Please let us know in the comment section below, and me and Dad will get around to those as quickly as we can. We love reading all your comments come in, and as you say, getting back to those as quickly as we can. And if you like this video, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and check us out on our Instagram page and our X page with those handles popping on the screen right now. And if you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss any future content. And me and Dad will see you on the next video all about Birmingham City.